Japanese internment camps. In 1939, there was a war fought all around the world. This war is now known as World War II. During this time, there was a lot of racism in Canada, mostly towards the Japanese. On Sunday, December 7th, 1941, at 8 o'clock a.m., the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. The attack was aimed at the United States naval fleet. When the word got to Canadians, more particularly the ones in British Columbia, people were both shocked and scared to hear this. Many were scared for there was Japanese Canadians living in their communities. People begged the government to do something about the Japanese Canadians. Mackenzie King wanted votes, so he's more than happy to comply. He had a few rules or steps to take care of the Japanese Canadians. His first step was sending them about 150 kilometers inland. This was to prevent the contact with any enemy spies. 9 months later, 8 internment camps were built, where over 22,000 Japanese Canadians were sent. Living conditions were harsh, as the walls were very thin and not insulated. There was usually one stove, at the most, shared between several families. The conditions outside the camps were disrespectful towards the Japanese, as all of their possessions were sold quickly at a cheap price. Lots of people lost everything from their house to their farmland to their clothes. Prime Minister Mackenzie King wanted more votes in the upcoming election, so he made a law that stated the Japanese Canadians either left British Columbia or were deported back to Japan. Many Japanese Canadians moved east towards Ontario, but were not allowed to buy land. They could only lease it. Also, they needed a license to own a farm, but the licenses were upheld until April 1946. Some Japanese Canadians signed a piece of paper stating that they will move back to Japan after the war is ended. 46 years later, in 1988, the Prime Minister Brian Mulroney signed a compensation package giving each survivor internee $21,000. In total, over $12 million of money was given out as compensation for those horrible years. Significance. Japanese internment camps had a great impact because while the Japanese were in the internment camps, the government sold off everything they owned, being their home or their land or their personal possessions. So when they were released from the internment camps, they owned nothing and had nowhere to go. So they started moving outward to other provinces such as Ontario.